Hey everybody, I have a video here for you today, and I'm going to add a video to my pyramid series. And I have mentioned this one just briefly when I showed you all the pyramids in one video on Google Earth, but this deserves its own individual video like they all do. And you just never know what you're going to find, and I think this is truly remarkable. Now the pyramid at Zawyet Aryan with that oval tub carved into the massive granite slab. It seems like they were trying to conceal something, and then that pyramid was all sealed up. Seems they were trying to bury whatever was left in the bottom of that and seal it up. But here, this is the southern pyramid at Dashur. It's on some pyramid lists. When Lepsius, who was really a great chronicler of pyramids in Egypt, came through in the 1800s, he actually missed this one. Why did he miss this one? Well, this, exactly like the pyramid of Djedefre, is up a similar sized hill. Egyptologists say, well, there was probably a pyramid up here, so they hauled the blocks up the mountain and then hauled them up a ramp that there wasn't room enough to build up. I don't even know. But here is the unfinished pyramid, and that's what people reporting on this hinted at. And actually, it seems the person who found this in 1957, I mean, if there was a real cover-up of history, it seems that they would want to do away with the people who found some of these structures. Well, with this one here, this pyramid up this hill, that's exactly what happened. The researcher who found this, they booted his ass out of the country and tried to charge him with charges in a story that just stinks. Now here the structure, seems there was a large trench built around this, and then just a small course of blocks surrounding a central pit that was covered up. But people did get below here, and what was found, I think, just like a lot of these places, is truly remarkable. How big is this place? 52.4 meters, exactly like that pyramid all the way down at Abydos that they attribute to Amos of the 18th dynasty. All of a sudden, after 6 or 7 dynasties, all of a sudden they're building pyramids again in the 18th dynasty according to Egyptian history. No, that pyramid down at Abydos, same dimensions, probably exactly like this one. Central pit, descending ramp, but what they found down here, unbelievable. And you see here, no clue, no evidence of a causeway or a valley temple. There was a few things put in here by an Egyptian king who they really can't even associate a dynasty to. And over here you see mastabas from the Old Kingdom. Some of these are probably pre-dynastic even. Why were they doing that? Because the structure already existed here. And it's just like the one at the Pyramid of Djedefre with that very ancient necropolis that has first and second dynasty and pre-dynastic tombs in it, built right below it. Same thing here, down in southern Dashur. Now, there was some stuff found right around here and down in the pit with the pharaoh's name, Ameny, but he's really kind of mysterious. They think he's in the 12th or 13th dynasties, somewhere around that region. They're assigning a whole structure to a pharaoh that they don't even know when he really reigned. And here, over on Live Science, we have a story from last year. Second pyramid, bearing Pharaoh Ameny's name, is found at Dashur. And there was really not much left of this place. Just some stones that appear to be sealing something up here. And then if we go down here, this is what was found at the second pyramid with Ameny's name. A descending stairway that is totally blocked up by huge, massive slabs of whatever kind of stone that is. 2 pyramids, they're just totally grasping for straws here. Now, Amazingly to me, I found a real good paper written on this place, and I think it's pretty remarkable, and it's just one of those jaw-dropping things, and this pyramid, I think they've just tried to hush it up. Now this was written by Nabil Swalim and Aidan Dotson. It says, the 1957 discovery of the pyramid of the 13th dynasty king Ameny at South Dashur was one of the most important, yet most obscure events in the history of pyramid exploration. Incidents immediately following it prevented any substantive publication of the monument appearing until a decade after its discovery. The objects found have hitherto escaped publication altogether. This paper aims for the first time to reconstruct the events surrounding the find, considering the full architectural historical context of the pyramid, building upon the pioneer work of Miragiolio and Rinaldi, and I just mispronounced a name, and publish the material that is known to have been recovered from it. It says, the discovery, the pyramid of Ameny lies upon a small hill 1,150 meters southeast of the Bent Pyramid and approximately a kilometer southwest of the pyramid of Amenemhet III at Dashur. It overlooks Lake Dashur from the west at a distance of 500 meters, and the wadi leading to the lake from the south, and I think that's a disappeared lake. At a similar distance, its location seems to escape the notice of even such a keen spotter of ruined pyramids as Lepsius. That's because it was up on top of the hill, a place you don't expect a pyramid. That's because a pyramid was never built up there. Just like at Abu Ruwash, there was never a pyramid up there. What they say is Djedefre's. It makes no sense. However, in 1957, an American scientist and publisher, Charles Arthur Moses, approached the Antiquities Service with a view to undertaking excavations at Dashur. Now, this is where it gets a little weird, and it just kind of stinks. Excavations initially revealed old kingdom mastabas, one of which, belonging to a certain Ipi, contained a pair of standing headless statues. It says, the final 2 weeks of work, however, brought to light what first appeared to be a mastaba, but on further investigation proved to be a pyramid. The discovery was made known via annual summaries of fieldwork, but Musa's sponsorship of the work was shortly brought to a sudden halt at the end of the season, obviously by the people in charge of allowing excavation to go on. On June 20th, Dr. Moses was detained at Cairo airport on charges relating to antiquities and currency allegedly found in his possession. The most important charges were overturned at appeal in June 1958, but Moses seems to never have returned to Egypt, and he apparently never completed the book he stated that he was writing on his discovery. So apparently this place was so cool, this guy was going to write a book, but he was detained by the authorities at Cairo airport. Charges were thrown out. But just like Zachariah Gonaim, who was totally discredited when he found one of these unfinished pyramids and wrote about it, and later his body was found in the Nile River, this guy seems he was detained, probably humiliated, booted, and never to return to his work on this pyramid again. Does that stink? Let me count the ways. It says, following this debacle, work on the site was abandoned. However, sometime later, the parts of this pyramid substructure which have been exposed were examined in detail by Vito Miragiolio and Celeste Rinaldi, who published their report in 1968, and what they found was truly incredible, I think. No further substantive work seems to have been carried out, although some scrutiny of the area was carried out in the mid-1970s. Apart from a discussion of the pyramid's chronological placement and incomplete discussion of the objects found, little else appears to have been thus far published concerning this most important structure. It says the scanty ruins of the Ameny pyramid are scattered around a central pit in which the substructure had been constructed. They were unable to locate any route supplying materials such as white limestone, quartzite, and bricks, and thus surmised that these supplies may have come along the wadi to the south. To construct the superstructure of this monument, The site was prepared by removing the surface sand and uncovering the bedrock. The levels in the west were a little higher than in the east. It says, following this, 3 large trenches were dug in the bedrock with a leveling bedding. 2 ran east-west and a third joined them on the west side. Toward the east, the pair of trenches ended in an open area roughly leveled by extracting the superficial rock and accumulating it on the limits of this side. The trench surrounds a rough square upon which the pyramid nucleus was built. And that's becoming familiar with all these places, these unfinished pyramids. The top of this rough square was not level, thus it decreased from 120 centimeters at the southwest corner to 90 centimeters above the level of the south trench at the southeast corner. And here it gives some dimensions, and this paper is pretty excellent here. Here are some more dimensions, and it gives them in cubits, and 100 cubits is exactly the same size as the pyramid I talked about of Kenjer, and absolutely the same size as the strange Mazguna South Pyramid, with just the trench cut in the earth and the shaft that was covered up over time. Now, here's where it gets good. Here is that familiar descending ramp, but this is a lot more detailed, and it seemed they got beyond an initial pit into some underground chambers here. And that pyramid is Zawyet Aryan, and if the pyramid of Djedefre was just like it down below, and it had that oval tub that was sealed, and then the passages were all sealed. It seems like an underground containment chamber almost of some sort. Well, this place is going to make that one look almost minor league as far as a containment chamber. And let me just show you what was down below here, and I think this is unbelievable. Now, the open pit is over on the far right, but they had entranceways and stairways here. But you can see this initial passageway that you would come into from the initial pit was blocked by an absolutely mammoth, what is described as a quartzite block. One block slipped perfectly into place, blocking this whole chamber. Wow. And then you would, if this wasn't blocked, you would go this way. And this entranceway, right next to it, there was a sliding quartzite monolith. And I cannot even imagine how many tens and tens of tons this thing weighed. But apparently they just slid it into place and blocked it here. But I will leave a link for this below. But here you see, you further travel, go down, twist around, and you finally end up back here. And there is a containment pit right here that is labeled K. And in the link I will leave, they describe perfectly what goes on here. And there is a smaller pit right next to it. And there is one single, impressively made, huge granite block that just slides over this and is perfectly snug into place. But here, this is very well drawn and explained. You would just slide this thing and it weighed 50 tons. And this is probably what Petrie encountered below the pyramid at Hawara, up by the labyrinth in the Fayum region, that it took him and his crew 6 weeks to cut through because this was already slid into place. I'm just assuming by his description this is what he encountered. This is as big as those lids in the Serapeum, probably exactly that size. That's how big they are, but they were just slid into place in a room that has no room for people to stand in. One thing I need to mention also, at the Pyramid of Mazguna that I showed a few days ago, we had this picture, and this is just kind of strange and in ruins. Well, you're seeing a room diagrammed, what that room at Mazguna looked like. These are pre-dynastic structures for a reason that we have not yet determined. It seems like they were concealment chambers, and how in the world were they sliding blocks in rooms that weighed 50 tons? But here down at Mazguna, this pyramid down here are these ruins, and it's just strange. But it seems like we have a clue, and they are directly related. It seems like they are the same. as this unfinished pyramid up on this hilltop at Dashur. And one more thing about this pyramid of Mazguna. Here, I mentioned it the other day, it says there is a wavy wall around this unfinished pyramid, that the shaft was cut in the earth and there's a central chamber. There is a wavy wall. Well, to me, this looked like a pit. It looked like a channel. And today I was watching the Pyramid Code, and my people you all know, Hakim, he said that water, flowing water, is charged by the sun, and it's done so, even more so, to a greater charge when it's flowing in a zigzag pattern. Could this have been flowing water that had something to do with making energy? Physics is about my worst subject, so I need a little help there. Now, there is nothing Egyptian down here. Just a few items that were left by a pharaoh who they really can't positively identify a dynasty that he reigned in. And he also left items by another pyramid nearby. Now, I thought I'd seen it all at the pyramid of Zawyet El Aryan with that strange tub. This place takes the cake. That is very strange. This seems like an underground concealment storage area of some kind that Egyptologists, somebody was buried here. They went to, I don't know. I really don't know what's going on now. This mystery has gotten a little deeper. This is built by somebody who is doing things that I can't even wrap my head around. This is an unfinished pyramid. But that is the history of another one of these exact same structures. Shaft cut in the earth, open pit, no resemblance to a pyramid whatsoever. How many are there? I've lost track. Seems the history of this place was kind of suppressed in a story that really stinks. This mystery is pretty cool. Hope you thought this was interesting, and you all have a very nice day.